Good morning, everyone. Thanks for the time that have you given to us to present about our material today. The materials discuss about cognitive approach. Before our presence about material, let me to introduce the members of group. The first speaker is Elizabeth Baru. Second speaker is Masyati Tafonao. Third speaker is Kasyati Telambanua, and the last speaker is Erika Halal. Let's begin of cognitive approach. Cognitive approach is the study of mental processes such as perception, reasoning, attention, language use, memory, problem solving, creativity, and thinking. By emphasizing mental processes, it places itself in opposition to behaviorism, which largely ignores mental processes. Yet, in many ways, the development of the cognitive approach in the early decades of the 20th century. In here, cognitive means knowing, and cognitive processes refer to the way in which knowledge is gained, used, and retained, while cognitive psychologists explain all behaviors in terms of thought, beliefs, and attitudes, and study how these direct our behaviors. Mental processes studied by cognitive psychologists are perception, attention, memory, language, thinking, and problem solving. This approach therefore investigates those areas of human behaviors that were neglected by behaviorists. About behaviorism, stimulus to respond become behaviorists were not interested in what happens in between stimulus and response. They do not think you need to know. And about cognitive approach, stimulus, information process, and response become cognitive psychologists believe that our behaviors is determined by the way we process information taken in from our environment. Based on theories of learning applied specifically to second language learning, focus in the learning strategies that are compatible with the learner's own style. Language target content is selected to concept and techniques, generalization about language, memorization, and competence leading to performance. Theory of learning and learning activity focus. The first cognitive strategies are one type of learning strategies that learners use in order to learn more successfully. In here include repetition, organizing new language, summarizing meaning, guessing meaning from context, using imagery for memorization. Then, activities can be described as cognitive strategies, include making mind maps, visualization, association, mnemonics, using clues in reading comprehension, underlining keywords, scanning and self-testing, and monitoring. While learners can be encouraged to think about their cognitive style and how it affects their learning by trying a quiz to identify their preferences. If they understand how they prefer to think, then they can learn how to optimize their work in the classroom and also try alternative ways. Instruction might be individualized. Grammar must be taught. Grammar could be taught in a deductively or inductively way. For deductively, it means rules taught first, then exercise practice, while inductively, rules can either be stated after practice or left as implicit for learners to process their own. About pronunciation is not emphasized because a perfect pronunciation is unreal. The four abilities are viewed as equally important. Though vocabulary is important, mostly in the intermediate and advanced level. Errors are viewed as important part of the process. Teacher's role and student role. The teacher is expected that the teacher has advanced proficiency in the language, thought, and an ability to analyze it, so it is possible to explore different needs of the students. The students are responsible for their own learning.
Okay, thanks. I will continue. Start for cognitive learning style. As we know, cognitive learning is a method in which our brain creates connection in order to understand the knowledge. Cognitive learning is a method that adjusts the process of entry of the knowledge. Okay, I will continue. Start for cognitive learning style. As we know, the cognitive learning is a method in which your brain or our brain create the connection in order to understand the knowledge. Or connection, the process of acquiring knowledge, thoughts, experience, and sense. The next is multiple intelligence. What is multiple intelligence? Multiple intelligence, according to the traditional definition, intelligence is unformed cognitive capability people are born with. Multiple intelligence have nine. The nine of intelligence are: first is verbal linguistic intelligence, second is mathematical logical intelligence, the third is musical intelligence, the next is visual spatial intelligence, and kinesthetic intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence, and the last is natural intelligence. Verbal linguistic intelligence involves the ability how to use the word effectively for reading, listening, and speaking. Generally, verbal linguistic intelligence is for career, for example, journalist, a writer, teacher, politician, and etc. The second is mathematical logical intelligence. That is something unconsciously start learning a lot of pre-math and pre-science skill. Whether it's some comparing or constructing, uh, classifying about patterns or mathematic patterns everywhere, also understanding how to make relationship with others people. In these skills, that is how to problem solving by logical and much performing experience for careers, for example, engineers, accountants, mathematicians, and etc. The third is musical intelligence. Musical intelligence generally is ability to produce, appreciate rhythm, pitch, timbre, and for these skills is singing, playing instrument, composing music. For the career is musician, this jockey and or singer, etc. The fourth is visual spatial intelligence. Visual spatial intelligence is capability to think, match, and picture, visual query, and abstract. For these skills is puzzle building, painting, constructing, fixing, and designing object. And for the careers is as artist, vendor, actor, a mechanic engineer, and etc. Next is intrapersonal intelligence. It is about being connected to who you are and how you feel and knowing your own limits and abilities. For the characters, these skills is generally they are introvert, prefer working alone, often think of self-employment, independent, like learning about self. The next is interpersonal intelligence. That is a capability to detect or respond appropriately to the moods, motivations, and desires of others. For this skills of intelligence is seen from the perspective, empathy, counseling, or cooperating. For this skills is a generic careers is sales people, uh, politic, business person, and minister. The next is natural intelligence. It is how to understanding the patterns of living being and applying scientific reasoning to the world. It's a particular applicable in careers such as a farmer, a naturalist, animals behavior, a scientist. For these characters is enjoy having pets, enjoy the garden, or etc. The last is existential intelligence. It is scientific capability to take deep question about human existence, such as the meaning of life, why do we die, and how do we get here. Actually, is a reflective and deep thinking design abstract theories. For the Caris is a scan theist, philosopher, and theologian. Okay, Mental Self-Government by Robert Sternberg. According to Sternberg, real life is where intelligence operates and not in the classroom. The true measure of success is not how well one does in school, but how well one does in life. Sternberg developed the mental self-government learning theory in 1994. It is a concept of intelligence that equates to combination of individual preference from three levels of mental self-management. First is function of governance of the mind. The second is stylistic preference, and the last is forms of mental self-government.
Now I will continue. The mental self-government model include 3 points. There are function, forms, and scope. The function include legislative, executive, and judicial. Legislative, there are creating, planning, imagining, and formulating. While executive include implementing and doing. Judicial, there are judging, evaluating, and comparing. Next, forms of mental self-government include monarchic, hierarchic, oligarchic, and anarchic. Monarchic, these people perform best when goals are singular. They deal best with one goal or need at a time. Hierarchy, these people can focus on multiple goals at once and recognize that all goals cannot be fulfilled equally. Oligarchic, these people deal well with goals that are of equal weight, but they have difficulty prioritizing goals of different weight. And the last, anarchy. These people depart from form and precedent. Often they don't like or understand the need for rules and regulations. They operate without rules or structure, creating their own problem-solving techniques with insights that often easily break exciting mindset. Next, scope. Scope of stylus variables include 2. They are internal and external. Internal like to be by themselves, and external like to collaborate and work in groups. For example, a person might prefer legislative functions, internal scope, and hierarchic forms of mental self-government, while another individual might prefer executive functions, external scope, and anarchic forms. Okay, I will continue. The topic is modalities. Cognitive learning modalities are the various ways in which students perceive and organize information. The cognitive modalities include visual, auditory, tactile, or kinesthetic. Auditory learners learn best through hearing. Visual learners learn best through seeing. And the last, tactile, need to feel and touch to learn. Researchers, including Rafe, Eisler, Barber, and Strong, have concluded that in a classroom, the students will be approximately for visual 25 until 30%, for auditory 25 until 30%, and tactile is 15%, and the last mixed modalities is 25 until 13%.
Okay, the next is Concrete or Abstract by Anthony Gregord. Gregord's mind style model provides an organized way to consider how the mind works. Perceptual quality. Concrete, this quality enables you to register information directly through your five senses: sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. When you are using your concrete ability, you are dealing with the obvious, the here and now. You are not looking for hidden meanings or making relationship between ideas or concepts. It is what it is. While abstract, this quality allows you to visualize, to conceive ideas, to understand or believe that which you cannot actually see. When you are using your abstract quality, you are using your intuition, your imagination, and you are looking beyond what is to the more subtle implication. It is not always what it seems. Okay, the next is ordering ability. Sequential allows your mind to organize information in a linear, step-by-step manner. When using your sequential, when ability, you are following a logical train of thought. A traditional approach to dealing with information, you may also prefer to have a plan and to follow it rather than relying on impulse. While random lets your mind organize information by chunk and in no particular order. When you are using your random ability, you may often be able to skip steps in a procedure and still produce the desired result. You may even start in the middle or at the end and work backwards. You may also prefer your life to be more impulsive or spur of the moment than planned. There are four combinations of the strong perceptual and ordering ability in each individual. The first is concrete sequential or CS. The second is abstract random or AR. And the third is abstract sequential or ES. And the last one is concrete random CR. No one is a pure style. Each of us have a unique combination of natural strengths and abilities. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, that's all of our presentation about cognitive approach. Thanks for attention and God bless you.